Steve Schnall, Jeff Schemmel, AD Update Time, and let's first talk about the BYU football game. Not a win, but I think if you were at the game, watched it on TV, you could really see the progress that the football team is making.
Well, two things that stick out in my mind, Steve. One is, you're right, with 5 minutes to go in the game, we had a chance with the ball and 7 points down to tie the game or win the game. So I think we all see the progress that we're making, and I think particularly pleased with how the offense performed on Saturday, which has been a question mark for us recently, and I thought they emerged and played very well and moved the ball up and down the field, especially through the air. And I think the second thing that stands out for me is that the coaches and the players to the person were not satisfied with just being close to BYU. And I think that was the discussion in the locker. That was the discussion in the locker room after the game. Is now it's time. We're making progress. Now it's time to win these games. It's time to grab these games and take them and make plays at the end of a game to win.
And that brings me to Colorado State, a huge road game to continue that progress and as you point out, start winning some football games.
Well, I think so. I think this is another step, an opportunity for us to win a football game, and we certainly have the ability to do that. CSU is very good, and they've had a solid season. They've lost some here recently, but I know that our coaches think they're very well coached, and Coach Fairchild does a fabulous job with those guys and has done a great job since he's been there. So this is, especially on the road, it's always tough to win on the road, but if we can sneak out of there with a victory, it'd be fun.
Let's talk a little bit about the Bowl Championship Series, BCS. 3 Mountain West Conference teams are ranked in the top 20, the highest being TCU at 8th. What does that all mean for the Mountain West Conference and the timing of what may be an automatic down the road for the Mountain West Conference?
Well, and I think in all this BCS discussion, Steve, the formula that is in place now gets lost sometimes in this discussion.
You can explain it in 30, I would be amazed, but go ahead.
I'm not sure I can, but to summarize it, it really does take into account the number of teams that you have in the top 25 and where they're ranked, and that's by conference. So when we have 3 teams in the top 20 in the BCS standings right now, as we do with TCU, BYU, and Utah, that's probably the highest we've ever been in the Mountain West Conference, and it adds to what we've already built a year ago with Utah's great success in the win over Alabama. And the formula allows us to, at some point in time, wrestle an automatic berth, take an automatic berth from whichever team is the 6th ranked conference, whichever conference is the 6th ranked conference that we might overtake. So, believe me, we're watching that closely and excited about where our conference is.
And then, just to follow up, as far as the timing, let's just say at the end of this season, the Mountain West Conference was the 6th best conference. That doesn't necessarily mean the next year. So what is how does the timing?
It's a rolling average. So the first time I think that there would be eligibility to take it away would be after the end of the 4-year period. We're in year 2 right now.
Okay. Let's talk a little bit about women's soccer, which continues to be a great story of the fall for San Diego State. 10 games unbeaten right now, back-to-back wins, longest streak of unbeaten since '98. This is a good story.
Well, and they just returned from a great road trip. I know that they had tied 2 games here the weekend before with BYU and Utah. Then they went on the road and won 2 games, 2 tough games. Wyoming, who was leading the league, we beat them 2-0, and then went to Air Force and beat them 1-0 over the weekend. So those are 2 huge victories on the road and put us in really good standing in the conference. Now, as Mike would say, now we need to take care of business and win the games that he thinks we can win, and if we can do that, we can win the championship and host the postseason tournament.
And that starts with New Mexico on Friday, 3 o'clock game. We'd love to see people come out there and support.
And really, I think that's so true, Steve. If we can fill up the sports deck with fans, I guarantee you that makes a difference for our team. So we would hope that all the San Diego State fans come out for our 3 o'clock game against New Mexico on Friday. Thank you.